everyone. So we are at lecture number 3 of this NPTEL lecture series on charging infrastructure. In this lecture, we will see a building block of an DC EV charger. But before that, let us recap some of the things we studied in the previous lecture, or as of now what we have studied. So if we recall what we have studied up till now different aspect of an EV charging system, like the necessity of the EV charging system, why we need a dedicated charger system in when you want to charge a EV, and in that process we have seen what are the building blocks of an EV charger, and we have seen the AC EV charger, where we have seen an AC EV charger which actually comprises of an AC EVSC, and in that AC EVSC we have a dedicated controller, we have sensor systems like which can sense the voltages and currents which is going through or which is actually going into the vehicle for basically to do the monitoring, or it can also be, these information can also be used for metering purposes. Then there are certain safety interlocks which are present, like contactors, relays, which are actually used for the safe operation of that AC charger. Let us say if in case if there is some problem on the vehicle or on the AC VSC, then these are the safety locks which are used to de-energize the grid to the vehicle. At the same time, through this safety interlocks only, the controllers can decide when to engage and when to disengage this grid in through to the EV. And then from that, so at the output of AC we have an AC VSC. At the output of AC VSC we have that AC which is going into the vehicle. Inside the vehicle there is the rectifier which are present, which actually converts the AC which gets plugged in into the DC voltages, into the DC quantity, and then this DC will be passing through an isolated DC-DC converter to actually provide the controlled, or you can say the regulated DC output, where depending upon the charging profile the BMS can instruct the isolated DC-DC converter to apply the required voltage at its output, and then this output will be going through the protective device and it will be going into the EV batteries, which is directly going into the EV batteries. And this isolated DC-DC converter will also provide the isolation between the EV battery and the AC which gets plugged into the vehicle. And the BMS will be continuously monitoring the voltage, current, the temperature of the battery cell. Sometimes they just monitor voltage and temperature. It depends upon the BMS manufacturer what they, or the battery manufacturer what they actually want to monitor. But generally this monitoring is done to continuously understand the status of the EV battery pack, at the same time whether the battery pack is in the safe operation or not, or while the charging is taking place. So all those things will be continuously monitored by BMS depending upon the status of a battery pack. It is a BMS which determine the kind of the charging, the at what stage of the charging profile our charger is, and accordingly it will instruct the power conversion unit, which is comprises of rectifier and DC converter, that they need to apply or they need to keep this amount of voltages or current at its output. And along with that, the BMS will be also communicating with the controller of an AC VSC, which inherently is also communicating with the central management system provided by the charging stations service provider, for basically to do different functionalities like metering and then the monitoring of the AC charger which are placed in the charging station. And if you look very carefully, the AC EVSC which are present, which is basically electric vehicle supply equipment, when we use a AC charger we need to have the AC EVSC, and when you have a AC EVSC, the purpose or the functionality of AC EVSC is just three, which is to monitor the status of the charging, to comply to that, and provide the information for metering purposes, at the same time provide the safety functionality in case if fault happens on the vehicle or on the EVSC itself. So, they will also take care of the safety features as well. Now, in case of AC charger, you will see that the entire power conversion, which is converting the AC voltages from the grid into the DC voltages, because our batteries are DC sources. So, all those power conversion is taking place inside the vehicle. That means the power converters or the power conversion unit is kept over the or on the vehicle, and that is why it is also called as the onboard charger. So, whenever you are plugging in AC into your vehicle via AC VSC, the power conversion is taking place inside the vehicle using onboard charger, and this is the way by which this AC charger works. And you will also see one more thing, that while doing the charging of a battery pack, it is the BMS who is the master, which will demand the required or which will define the required voltages or voltage output of the power conversion unit, and also it is the one which will respond to AC VSC when to energize or when to turn on or when to keep the output on or when to keep the output off. So, BMS is the master, while the controller in the AC VSC is the slave. It will just follow what the BMS tells it to do. Now, let us see. So, this is what we talked about AC EV charger, where the bifurcations are very clearly mentioned, where we have the AC VSC and we have an onboard charger onto the vehicle. Now, let us see what all things are there in case of a DC EV charger. Now, if you look a DC EV charger, since it is a DC EV charger, we require an DC EVSC, a dedicated DC EVSC, which is nothing but a DC electric vehicle supply equipment. Now, what is this? Let us see. Now, if you look very carefully, again the charger is nothing but the system which converts basically the grid AC into a DC in a safe manner, or and also along with that continuous monitoring is taking place. So, the same components are there in that the main component will remain be the same, however, the location of them varies. So, let us see what is there in DC VSC. In DC VSC, what we have is, again we have an input from the AC, so from the grid, and generally this DC chargers or DC EV chargers are meant for are basically high power chargers. So, they generally take input from the 3-phase grid, and generally their power range is from, I mean it goes from 15 kilowatt to upwards of 200 kilowatt. I mean you can also see some of the chargers going up to 400 kilowatt as well available in the ecosystem. So, it takes input from the 3-phase grid, because these are meant for high power charging, or in particularly you can say that fast charging it is being used. So, you take either a 3-phase connection or 3-phase, you have to take the 3-phase connection from the grid, and then so here we have an AC which gets into the DC VSC. So, this is our here output, whatever which gets plugged into the vehicle, since it is a DC charger. So, you are plugging in directly DC onto your electric vehicle or onto your vehicle. So, that means you need to convert that AC into a DC inside the EVSC itself. So, that means that this AC, particular AC is going into the rectifier, which actually converts AC into a DC, and again I will draw the DC with just to keep things uniform. Let me draw with single line here. So, this rectifier will again converts a DC AC into DC. Now this DC will be going again into this isolated DC-DC converter. Isolated DC-DC converter you have. Now again, if you see why we need this isolation, just to have the isolation between the grid and the battery which will be there in the vehicle, so that that isolation is there, and at the same time you need to control, you need to have apply the required DC at its output. So that is why this DC isolated DC-DC converter is being used in this system. And then after that you have again the safety interlocks, the same relays, contactors, high voltage contactors will be there, contactors, relays. I mean it is the one which will which will help to to connect this output of the DC-DC converter to the vehicle. So once it will get connected, it will be energized. The input will be given to the vehicle. Now this particular DC which you are getting here is again a controlled, or you can say that a regulated DC, again determined by the amount of DC which need to be put at it, or the voltage, the amount of voltage which has to be kept at the output will be determined by the BMS which will be there in the vehicle. Now the DC which is there will be directly get plugged into the onto the vehicle, and in the vehicle you have again some protective devices like again contactors, relay. After this protected device, it will directly go into the EV battery, directly charging the EV battery. So there is no power conversion which is taking place inside the vehicle or onto the vehicle. There are, so these onboard chargers which are there will get bypassed in case of DC EV charger. And then again the BMS will be there, which will be communicating, or which will be keep on monitoring voltage, current, temperature of a battery cell to make sure the charging is being done safely, or the battery pack is in the, or is operating safely. So that is why the BMS will be continuously monitoring the voltage, current and temperature of a battery cell, and this BMS will now communicate with the controller, a charger controller which is present onto the DC VAC. Now this particular controller is also sometimes called as the supply equipment communication controller. You can name this as SECC, supply equipment communication controller. And so there is a dedicated communication channel between the BMS and the controller. So this is a dedicated communication channel, or you can say port channel. We have a dedicated communication channel which will be exchanging a lot of information between the vehicle and the charger controller. Many information will be exchanged between the BMS and the controller. And why this particular a lot of information need to be exchanged between the BMS and the charger controller is because the entire power conversion is taking place inside the DC VAC. So DC VAC is a quite a complicated system where the entire power conversion is taking place. Further, a lot of data is continuously exchanged between EV and EVAC. So generally this dedicated communication channel is there, and generally they do something called high level communication, which requires a dedicated communication channel like CAN communication channel or PLC based communication channel, where they do the high level communication that we will study as we proceed. So the thing which I am trying to convey, that this a lot of informations are exchanged between this controller and BMS. And why? Because the entire power conversion is taking place outside the DC VSC. If you look very carefully, in case of AC EV charger, the information between the BMS and the controller of the AC VSC, there are not much information need to be shared, because the entire power conversion is taking place inside the vehicle, and that will have the dedicated communication channel between the BMS and the controller of this the onboard charger. So, there is a lot of information exchange between BMS and the controller of the onboard charger, but here in case of DC VSC or in case of a DC charger where we have a DC VSC, there are a lot of continuous information need to be exchanged between the battery, between the BMS and the DC VSC, and this controller will then be used to actually again define the different phase shifts or different duty ratios of the power electronic switches which are being used in this rectifier and the DC-DC converter. So, basically it is the one, this controller will determine how this converters, this power converters, rectifiers and this isolated DC converter need to be operated such that required value of DC voltage you can obtain at the output which gets plugged into your EV, into your electric vehicle. And this controller will again then be communicating with again the central management system provided by charging station service provider. This is again for metering purposes or understanding for how long this EVSE is been operation, to understand for how much time this EVSE is engaged with the vehicle which gets plugged in with this DC EVSE. So, what all this DC EVSE does? Some of the important functionality which it does is again the power conversion. This is the biggest difference between an AC VSC and DC VSC. The entire power conversion need to be taken place inside the EVSC itself, and thus require a dedicated or continuous data from the BMS to understand how and when to operate, how to operate, to understand if there is fault, when to engage, when to disengage. So, that is why the power conversion is taking place inside DC VSC. Again the second thing which is monitoring, continuous monitoring, metering. For metering purposes, information will be exchanged with a central management system, and then again safety precautions of safety in case some fault happens in the vehicle or in the charger. And so, thus and continuous sharing of information between the BMS and the charger controller, or in other words you can say between the vehicle and the EVSE respectively. Now, if you look very carefully, in this particular system, again here also your BMS is the master, while the charger controller is slave. Why this particular point I have written? It is because it is the BMS who knows that what profile, what charging profile need to be applied, need to be used while charging the specific battery pack in a vehicle, and it is keep on monitoring these voltages, currents and temperatures which are being applied onto the battery pack. So, it will be keep on monitoring, and it will be keep on instructing the charger controller that this particular charger is in this stages of charging profile and you have to apply this voltage at its output, then this charger controller will react to that particular information from the BMS, and accordingly it will tell, or it will tell to the rectifier and the isolated DC converter that you need to operate in such a manner that the required DC output voltage need to be put in, such that the required current and the voltages will be drawn by the battery pack. So, if you look very carefully, the basic difference between the AC charger and the DC charger is, in the AC charger the power conversion is taking place onto the vehicle, and that is why you have an onboard charger, while in case of a DC charger the power conversion or the power converter units are kept outside the vehicle, and it's primarily because you have the very high power converters where the size of power converters is enormous, which cannot be put onto the vehicle because it will unnecessarily increase the unladen weight of the vehicle. Unladen weight means when there is no one onto the vehicle or just the weight of the vehicle. So, this weight of the vehicle is something which has to be reduced as much as possible to increase its range, and that is why whenever one is going for the high power charging, one need to go to a DC charging DC charger, which is nothing but a DC VSC, and there it can facilitate the high power charging, or the high power charging are used to charge the vehicle in very small amount of time, maybe 15 minutes or 30 minutes period of time. However, the AC chargers are generally being kept for overnight charging of a vehicle, or in the scenarios where the user has enormous time with itself, or will have the good amount of time, like going from in between 5 to 4 to 6 hours they have. So, they can use the wall mounted ACV charger or wall mounted ACVSC because they are smaller in size, so they can be easily mounted. However, in case of when someone wants to charge the vehicle fastly, or you can say in just 15 to 30 minutes, then they go for a DC charger, which is nothing but a DC VSC, and which has the entire power conversion is taking place inside the EVSC itself, and there is no power conversion onto the vehicle, or you can say that the onboard charger is bypassed in case of DC charging. And so that is why sometimes it is called, since the power conversion is taking place outside the vehicle, it is also sometimes called as the off board charger. As the power conversion is taking place outside the vehicle, it is not happening inside the vehicle, and since the power conversion is taking place outside the vehicle, one need to share a lot of information of the battery pack, I mean continuous the sharing of information of the status of a battery pack need to be communicated to the supply equipment communication controller, to so that to understand at what stages of the charging profile the battery pack is, and accordingly they can tell to this rectifier and the DCC converter that apply the required DC voltage and current. So, thus the BMS is the one who is the master, which will tell the charger, I mean to tell the charger that this kind of voltage or current you apply at your output. So, in summary, if we see, we have studied a AC charger which has a AC EVSE and requires onboard charger for the power conversion, and then we have seen the DC charger which has a DC VSC where the entire power conversion is taking place outside the vehicle. Thus, it is, if you look carefully, it is difficult for, I mean to manufacture or to design a DC charger or DC VSC as compared to, is difficult to design or manufacture as compared to ACVSC. And one important thing is also there, since this EVSEs are connected to the vehicle, one need to make sure that this EVSEs must be complied to a certain standard, such that the EVSEs which are being installed can be connected to any vehicle or any car which is coming to the charging station and which gets connected to the EVSEs. So, thus a dedicated standard or protocols need to be followed by this EVSEs to make sure that the interportability between different manufacturers is also possible. So, thank you for patiently listening to this lecture number 3 for this NPTEL course. We will see the remaining portions in the subsequent lectures. Thank you.